a pause. Do you think that we should do like some sort of like spoiler, like
Spoilers in words at the
yeah,
very beginning.
basically.
Welcome, everybody. This is the very first episode of 2Chicks 2Cents, Season 1, Episode 1. So if you're here, thank you. You're so special. We are going to be talking about movies and TV shows, and nothing's off the table as far as discussion goes. So thank you for being here. I am your host, Tiffany, and this is my wonderful friend and co-host, Delilah. Delilah, will you say hi and tell everyone about yourself?
Hey everybody. My name is Delilah. I am a stay-at-home mom. That's pretty much all. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. That's actually how me and Tiffany met. Almost
Yes,
10 years ago now. We used to work together in a salon.
I can't even believe it.
That's so long ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a little girl, first time mom. That's about it. You're
Yay!
an everyday person.
So let me manage your expectations. So a lot of people think that when someone's doing movie and TV reviews, that, we might actually know something about something, but we don't. We are not industry professionals. We did not do any research whatsoever on, the cast and crew, the actors or the writers or the backstory on what the movie is about itself. We have done none of that. So we are just two normal people like you, two chicks giving our 2 cents, hence the name. So welcome aboard. The first movie we have already picked, but in the future we will let you know. We're gonna pick in the episode from our handy dandy jars. Delilah, will you show yours? So cute. Hers is so much prettier. And so we'll pick out of a jar, or I'm gonna pick the movie. Delilah's gonna pick the TV show, and that way you can kind of join in with us and join in on the discussion in the next episode. But today, Delilah, would you like to announce the movie?
Yes. Our first movie that we're going to be talking about is You People. It's on Netflix.
Yes, it is on Netflix. Came out in 2023.
Yes,
Um,
with Jonah Hill and Lauren London and Eddie Murphy.
yes. So I picked this movie, and I picked it because a friend made me watch it. We were at work, we were on the night shift, so like not a lot's going on, and we're allowed to kind of just watch movies sometimes. So we did, and he had already seen it, and he was like, I just wanted to show you, like with the right person, love is just easy. It's just natural. It flows. It's perfect. And then it's the outside forces, it's the outside
Oh, yeah.
people who get in your head and get in between you two and cause trouble in your relationship. And so he just wanted to kind of illustrate that. And I remember feeling very, very triggered, like all throughout the movie. Like it was so uncomfortable to sit through.
I wonder if that
Um,
was their goal.
oh, I think so, hands down. Yeah, I think so. But ultimately, I really, really liked it, and I really wanted to talk to somebody about all of those things that triggered me. So tell me your impression, your first impression, um, and yeah, just give me your thoughts, like overall, real quick.
So I feel like I have an interesting perspective for this movie because it came out and you said like 2021 or something.
2023. I looked it up.
2023.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
looked
I thought it came out like a
right
little bit
then.
longer ago.
Exactly. Me too.
So I actually started this movie in 2023 whenever it first came out. And I just felt like it was a little bit too triggering. Like it wasn't like a feel good time. And that's what I was like looking for in a movie. at the time. Like, so I was like, I don't want to watch this. So like I started it, and I think maybe I got like 15, 20 minutes in, and then I was like, nope, I'm good, and turned it off, watched something else. And then when you picked this movie, I watched it last night, and I was like, well, first of all, I can't turn it off, gotta finish it. And so I did. I finished it, and like it was a good movie. It was, but like there were so many things about it that I didn't like, and that I felt like they could have done differently or better, and still got the same point across. So like for me, honestly, the movie was like a 6.5 out of 10. Like I don't think that I'd go back and watch it. Um, but yeah,
I kind of feel the same way. It's like a watch once and kind of be done. Because it's so uncomfortable. Even watching it the second
yes,
time, like going back the second time, I actually had some of the same emotions, but some of it was worse. Like you could just feel it sitting in here. And I kind of felt like the conclusion wasn't enough to kind of make up for all that hurt. Like you kind of
yeah,
needed
yeah.
time to
I felt like
recover.
the build up and all this stuff went for so long, and then like they just wrapped it up.
So long. Yeah,
They're like, oh,
so
we gotta
long.
finish it. Our
Oh,
bad.
we're done. Let's get back together instantly. No
100%.
discussion, no healing. Let's get married. Ah, you know?
100%. And like, uh, it, oh, yeah. I get what they were trying to do, but I feel like they should have did like one or the other. Like you could have an one annoying parent, but to have both sides be annoying, or it's like we could be fighting about religion, or we could be fighting about race, or we could all just be horrible. Like it's like to have all of them. It's like calm down,
It
just
was
like
like,
chill a bit.
yeah, I kind of felt like some of the mom stuff was like they were just trying to make it equal. Like, uh, this dad is doing this. We need to have equal amount of hurt on both sides of the um, the partnership.
Yeah,
And to make it equal, they had to kind of just force some things in there that didn't seem really natural for like a person like her, and it
that
just
was
seemed
that was
excessive.
another big thing that I felt like that. A lot of like the conversations or moments or whatever, like it just didn't seem natural. Like these things don't really happen. Like I'm married, and when I met my mother-in-law and all that, like it didn't happen like that. Like
Yeah,
it just some
yeah.
of the stuff that they're doing, I'm like maybe it's just not the people that I'm around or whatever. But like this movie was put on Netflix for the everyday person, so
And you know,
I
I
still think that
have,
they were doing everyday things.
yes, yes. I have met people like her who they just say they just can't stop talking. It's like word vomit, and then they say all these weird semi-offensive things, but they're doing it because they're like nervous and they're like um just trying to fill up the space because they don't know what to do because they're uncomfortable and whatever. And so it seemed like that, you know, and I've been around plenty of people like that. And the thing about it is when you kind of feel their intentions, it takes away the offense and the hurt because you're like, this is not about those exact details of every single word she's saying. She's
And that's the
nervous.
thing.
So there's grace, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
There's
the
no
thing that
grace.
I had with the. I felt like the mother in the situation was not as bad as the father in the situation. Yeah, the whole thing, like I feel like the mom was a lot like her things were not as intentional as the dad. The dad was just like, "Oh, I don't like you. That's it. Everything I do is intentional. I want you out of here. I want you away from my daughter." But the mom, she was happy for her son. But
Hmm.
like she says in the end, she just didn't know how to get to know her and all that stuff. And I feel like their situation could have been handled in the very beginning with a calm conversation, and the mom would have got it just like she did, and maybe it would take her a teeny bit of time, but it wouldn't have been
Yeah,
this big explosion they need to call off their engagement and everything. Like it wouldn't have been all that had they just had like a very calm conversation in the beginning. Not
exactly.
the not Jonah's character Ezra or whatever, not him talking to his mom, Lauren London, Amira talking to the mom woman to woman, exactly like what she did, just like
Yeah, because
less like
she would constantly blow off her son
yes,
whenever he
yes.
would try to be like calm down. She just didn't respect
Didn't
his
get any peace
opinion
and
at
credit.
all.
He's like, just my son telling me to calm down, like he has his
Exactly.
own life.
He's just
But
being extra.
had Amira talked to her calmly, I think that their problems would have been solved right away, and it wouldn't have gotten as far as it did. I feel like if there's, at least me personally in my life, like if there's some sort of problem, or like if you don't want it to build over, you don't want to blow up, like just have the talk real quick. Like it could have been solved, but I get it. It's a movie. They have to. What's
On
the word?
that
They have
point, they have to draw it out. Yeah. On that
exactly.
point, that it having that conversation is like a very natural response for human beings, and you want it to be realistic. So, like you said before, it might have taken her some time. So you could show that time where she messes up and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot," or she didn't say it and she had to get called out again. You still have those opportunities throughout the movie to like bring that stuff up and do it again. So I think that could have been better for sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Talking about like the time and specifically Amira and the mom's like timeline, I felt like the movie was extremely male focused, and I don't know if that was intentional also. Like that's the thing, like we'll never know like the things that are intentional and the things that just were overlooked. But I feel like we didn't see enough of the women in the movie. Like we saw
Mm.
them, but like their like backstory stuff, like you see Ezra on the side talking with his friends about his emotions, about what he's going through, wanting to propose, or the dad's crazy, like all this stuff, like talking out his stuff or whatever. You never see Amira doing that. We never see
Oh.
her doing that. We never see like, so maybe she never had anybody. She didn't have a good friend, or her mom didn't tell her, "Hey, just sit down with your future mother-in-law." Like maybe she never had that because we never get to
Oh
see
my
that.
gosh, you're right. Like
And
I
then
didn't even notice that.
yeah, and then also the thing that bothered me was like we see Ezra at work, and he hates his job and his boss, and then he Amira tells him, you know, you should quit, really focusing on your podcast, whatever. So we see him quit, we see him focus on his podcast, we see in the very end his podcast starts doing well. We see Amira go to work one time, she doesn't get the job, and then that's it. In the end, like there's no like happy story for her besides them getting married. We never see her like do well in her profession, or like, you know, things get better, or maybe she talks to those people that didn't give her the job. Like we don't see any of that stuff. And then and
They
on the same
wasted so
note,
much
yeah,
time on the trigger points, like, and
yes.
not enough
And
on
on
the
the
story.
same note, it's the same with like the dad. We see him riding around in cars with his son and his brother and talking out all his frustrations, whatever. And we don't see that from Ezra's mom, maybe with her friends and siblings or whatever, like trying to work. That like it was very male focused. And I feel like, at least for me, the thing that drew me to watch this movie was Lauren London. Like she's amazing, she's great, love her, she's so stylish, so beautiful, and I was like, oh, she is the reason why I want to watch this movie. And then I feel like I didn't get enough of like there's a male lead and a female lead, but I don't feel like their parts were equal.
Right, right.
That really bothered me.
Wow, that is an excellent perspective. And I think I understand why they did it that way. I think, and why it was more intense for the father son-in-law dynamic. Um, a lot of times fathers are harder on them, and like because the whole race issue was the focus and the highlight, I think that's why they made it more them, not so much like we want it to be male focused, we want it to be focused. And so I think that's probably why they did it. But very good point. I love that. I definitely think that they really should have taken more time to think that through in the story. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that some of the stuff that they dragged out, they could have not did that and showed us other stuff, and I think that the movie would have been better. But
Yeah.
also, I feel like Netflix and other streaming platforms that like make their own movies are low key a little bit like Shein and Fashion Nova, like fast fashion, fast movies. So I don't really
Mm,
think that they're trying to give you every single detail like DC does. I think that they're just trying to
pop it
like
out.
give you the story, pop it out, do a little bit of cool shit, keep you coming back, more like Marvel.
Yeah, because if they can get you to click on it, if they can get you to watch the movie, like that, they've done their job. Like, it doesn't matter what
Exactly.
people say after it. People are going to watch it anyway, because
Yeah.
they're going to want to see what they think about it, and they want to talk about it, and they want to trash it, and so um, it's kind of
I agree.
sad and it sucks because if I feel like we have no leverage as consumers and viewers, like we can say what we want, but people are just gonna be like, "Oh, you don't matter. You
Yeah.
don't matter." Yeah.
They're gonna be like,
So,
well, I'm gonna keep doing what I want. So,
but
and
I
I'm
do
sure
believe
you
there are
guys.
still some people out there who care about the art of filmmaking, and they will hear us, and they will provide, and they will be the best. They will be the ones at the top. So, all right, let's get into some of these questions. So, I
Okay.
created a little like questionnaire cheat sheet so that we can fill it out while we're watching the movie, so you can remember the specific triggers or favorite part. Well, I don't think we'd need a piece of paper for a favorite part. But so with the first one, was there anything that you like or loved about this movie?
Actually, yeah. Look, like I said, I love Lauren London. Everything about her, she's so great. I absolutely loved whoever was the hairstylist on this movie. The
Ooh,
hair,
yes.
at least Lauren's hair, almost every scene, a different hairstyle, some protective, some not, like beautiful. Every single baby hair in place. Loved her hair. Loved her makeup was flawless. The style was so fun, so colorful. And then I also
Yes.
really, really, really loved the music in this
Oh
movie.
my
The
God, I was gonna
Mexican
say
music in
that.
this
That was on
movie,
mine.
it was so many songs that I love, and honestly, I think I knew every single song that came on. Like I was like, this movie is for the culture, but it's for me, but it's not for me at the same time. Like the hair, the makeup, the style, the the people, the characters themselves, like the main characters themselves, I like them. Like I feel like we would be friends. All
Yeah.
that stuff was for me. It was just maybe their families, their story just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Love the music.
Yes. I love the music. I don't really listen to a lot of hip hop, so I don't know any of the artists, but I loved every single song. And like that made me want to like go out and find the album and like just listen to it. Me, I wrote down that I loved those jabs in the church, like at like the very
Oh
beginning where Jonah
yeah.
Hill and his sister, and she's like, "You look like a dad who lost his kid at Coachella," and then he's like, "You look like the principal of a Hebrew school version of Hogwarts." And I was
Yeah.
just like dying.
That was yeah. Him and the sister, and then
I
like say we could have saw more from the sister too. We could have saw
both the siblings. I loved her brother. He was so funny. I loved his attitude and everything. And then the sister was so funny too. She had like excellent vibes, and I love sibling dynamics. Like that's like my favorite. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, so dislikes.
like we're coming off the BLM movement, and like it was like really in your face all the time, which I love. But we're coming off of that, and then so I feel like maybe that's why the movie was so like focused there so much, and maybe
They
that's why
probably
they just
filmed
put
it
that
during
extra
that
mile.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because even though it came out in 2023, you got all that time to
Yeah.
actually produce and post production, all that stuff.
Yes.
So makes sense.
Same. And then honestly also because like I come from a very like very mixed race family. Like there's a little bit of everything in my family, so like that was obviously like triggering. But then also like I don't come from a family that is very what's the right word, like if I love somebody, my family's like, all right, like they're not gonna be like, for whatever hates they have, be like, you can't be with this person or actively try and ruin something that I have. Like I don't come from a family like that. So that was very weird. That's always weird for me to see in movies, and I'm just like, why don't you just tell your family to stop? Like it, cuz I don't know. I guess like that's how I was raised. Like if I have a problem or something, just say something,
It did
and your
seem like
family
they
will
kind of
fix your shit.
justified everything instead of calling it out.
Yeah,
Like, we never saw a conversation really where um,
we
she
never
would.
saw Lauren London and Mira talk to her dad. We never
Exactly.
saw that.
She could have, tried to put a stop or explained why she loves him, explained maybe some of his behavior. Like, he's scared, he's intimidated by you, and you're not giving him a chance. Like, yeah, so I agree with you there. So what I just put, I I didn't like the racist jab that Amira made at Jonah, like when he got in her car in accident.
Oh yeah.
Like, like she just jumped straight there. I wasn't super triggered by it or anything, but I just thought, like, come on,
Maybe I would be angry. Maybe I would be aggressive. Like, well,
shook
not
up,
maybe I would be. I would be angry, or aggressive, like whatever. But I don't know that I would go straight to his
calling
race.
someone out
But
like
then,
that.
had he said something that took me there, like had he been like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were obviously my Uber," like had he been like Jonah hadn't gotten anything out yet, like he
Oh, it
hadn't
came.
said anything yet that could
Yeah,
have got her there. So
indicated.
I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. I thought it was
She did
interesting
not.
that he didn't even have a car. Like, I guess there are some people out there who Uber everywhere, but it's never been something
In
that
LA, that's
I've
weird. Like if we
noticed.
were like this movie was in New York, oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But in LA,
yeah.
I'm
And
from
he
Southern
seems to come
California.
from a wealthy family. He seems to
Yeah.
have a job where he's like pretty much set. Like, why is
And they
bro like
never talk
Ubering
about like
everywhere?
why he's
They never
supposed to
talk
drive
about
or
it.
anything. That is
Yeah.
okay. Another just okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the dislikes I wrote when the mom over-explained the thing with Lupita, and feeling guilty about having help and stuff.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
understand that. Like
that was
why
so
would and then
annoying.
she like the mom
Unnecessary.
says that she's like, oh, she's Guatemalan. Like it's okay for you to have money and hire help. Like
Yeah.
and then it doesn't matter what race that help is, like you're paying them. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. I like that was weird of you to say. My thing I just didn't like was the amount of input from their family. It's like they don't show them being very loving or like having a good time or like really liking each other, anything like that. So me personally, if I was one of their kids, I would be like, that's great, but what am I listening to you for? I don't want your relationship. Like
Right.
me personally.
Favorite part?
I really like the Drake conversation that he had with his best friend. Like, I don't want to say that I'm like a crazy Drake fan or nothing, but he's got some fun music. So whenever they were talking about, oh, you're like certified lover boy Drake, no, you're more like views Drake, no, you're more like all of these, I'm like I could follow the conversation. It was so funny. He's like you're being like Pusha T, and I need you to be my future. And it's like these things are hilarious because in the hip hop world, like all of these things. I followed the conversation. It was so funny, and so like I loved that conversation. But
That's so funny.
instead
I
of
wrote a note. I said, I wish I knew the references they made uh in the beginning.
see, so like so
Because I could tell
I
it was
know that
funny. Yeah.
it was so funny because I knew the references. That was like
Uh-huh.
the best part. I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious because I know the references.
My favorite part, I put two. I put the whole relationship before the parents got involved. I loved
Yeah.
it. It was sweet. It was like you were rooting for them. You were happy he found love. You were happy she was so amazing and cool and like, yeah. So that whole thing. And then I loved the basketball scene.
Oh yeah. Basketball scene was funny. I almost put that one down, but then I remembered the Drake conversation. I was like, I outwardly like I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I really like that too, for sure. I loved when she was at his parents' house and he gets back from having that really long conversation with his mom and he hears the piano
oh
playing and his dad's singing.
I
It's
honestly
insane.
had no problems with his dad the whole movie.
Oh, right,
I'm
me
like, all
too.
his dad cares about is music, and I don't know if he always only cares about music or if he's just only looking up. He loves Exhibit for some reason,
Hmm.
but it was the dad. I had no problems with. I'm like, if
None.
that was me and I was meeting his dad or whatever, and every time his dad just is talking about music and Exhibit and John Legend, like I'd be cracking up. I'd be like, if that's what you love,
Me too.
okay. I wouldn't take any offense to that. I would be like, your dad really likes music, I guess. And knowing their whole lives, like that was funny.
Yeah. And the last thing I wrote was him quitting. Him quitting his job. I thought that
Oh
was
yeah, he
funny.
was like, I'm gonna work at a different address.
A
And
different
then he ran
location.
away.
Yeah.
That was funny. The
Yeah.
Coke scene was funny whenever they're in the strip club and the
Uh,
friend is like, oh, can you call your Coke guy? And he was like, I don't have
I
a Coke guy.
hated that. I hated
I was
that.
just like, I was like, man, this is going on for a long time.
Right? Oh man, I
That was
hated
I
that
was
they
just like
sold him
the
out.
amount of time that, and then whenever the cool guy comes and he's like, oh, thank you for my edible arrangement, I'm like, man, you got a relationship with this man. Like and then and I remember thinking, I'm like, man, he's a good friend to have. That was all I
Yeah.
thought. Oh, every time that the dad would ask Jonah something and he would come up with like a super quick lie, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then because they were like obviously lies.
I actually hated that because I'm like, man, like, and he
I
did that uh with Amira too, and I was like, man,
yeah,
don't start off this
I would
relationship with
I would
lies.
easily be like, why are you lying? Like,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
It just kind of seems like you can't help it, right? Like, stop it.
That's all I have to say about the movie. I feel actually very satisfied. Like we covered everything and got all of
I
our
think that's all
opinions
I have
out
to say
there.
about you people.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that movie. Wouldn't watch it again. Neither of us would. So there's
Definitely,
that.
watch it. If you see our podcast and you have watched the movie, definitely put in the comments how you felt.
Yes.
Did you agree with our opinions? Did you not agree with our opinions? Did we take it to heart
Too
too much?
serious? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah. I like that. So, for this portion of our podcast, we are going to choose our next movie. We also, what we're going to do with the TV show is we're going to draw a TV show. We're going to watch it over the next few episodes, and then we'll bring it up at a later date. That way, everybody has sufficient amount of time to follow us with with the TV show and have time to watch it before we discuss it. Let's. You want to draw first with the TV show?
Yes, I have TV shows in here.
Yes,
There
I
are
have
four.
movies. There you go.
Okay, TV show that we're gonna be watching.
Not looking, not looking.
Oh, it is the show Severance.
Severance. Yay. Okay, I have not seen this
There's a
one.
couple left.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, she put two in there, I picked two, and then we kind of just
Yes.
mixed it in. So,
Severance is on Apple Plus TV. I have seen it. It is amazing. I'm actually very excited to rewatch it to actually pay attention to things I didn't pay attention to last time because I had saw it for the first time. I'm very
I love
excited for
doing
you to
that.
watch it because I feel like this show was just a mind fuck. And it was a quick watch. It's just like, I think it's like 8 episodes. It's worth it. It is
I'm so
worth it.
excited. I am so excited. Okay, so next
Our
we
next
are doing.
movie, write it down.
So excited. Crap, it's another one of mine. I wanted to pick one of yours.
1,000 Years of Longing.
Yes. And I wrote, it's on Prime, fantasy romance, an hour and 48 minutes, if you'd like to know that. And it came out 2022. Yes, I have seen this movie. Very good. Loved it. Loved the story. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
I've never seen it, so it's funny
It's
that.
got Idris. It's got Idris Elba in it. Elba?
Oh, I'm
Elba.
sold
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
I love Idris.
Totally.
Anything Idris is in, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's funny that we put equally the same amount in each one. of each other, and I pulled one of my own and you pulled one of your own. That's
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for being here.
us. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, we love you. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Let us know your comments. Let us know any of your favorite shows or movies so we can add them into our little raffle queue and maybe we'll end up watching them. Well, we really hope that, we'll build some sort of community of just other people that like watching shows and movies.
Yes.
If you want to watch our next movie with us, it's 1,000 Years of Longing. It's on Amazon Prime. We're going to be talking about that one next week. And then in a couple episodes, we're going to talk about the show Severance on Apple TV. It's a very short series, so if you don't have Apple Plus already, just do that little free 7-day trial, watch the show, cancel it,
Yes.
and then come talk with us, come listen about the show. It'll be very exciting. We're hoping to build a really nice community of people that also just like watching movies and shows.
Bye.
Later.